How do the Broncos shock the world and beat the Bills on Wild Card Weekend? I'm going to tell you how right now. All right, Broncos country, how you feeling? You fired up for what's right in front of you? Sunday at 11 a.m. out in Orchard Park. The Broncos go back to the postseason. First of all, we talked about it on Monday's show. You should be fired up for the moment. What this is, the accelerated timeline of Bo Nix and Shawn Payton bringing the Broncos back. But you know what? It's Wednesday now, right? We're going to get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's get a little greedy as we start to get ready for that game. Can the Broncos shock the world? Heck yeah, they can. Is it going to be easy? Heck no, it's not. There's a reason the Buffalo Bills are in the position that they're in, and that their quarterback, Josh Allen, is fixing to bring home the NFL MVP. This is a very, very good and dangerous offensive football team. So I got a few things that we're all going to want to keep an eye out for this game coming up on Sunday. Number one, first and foremost, is Shawn Payton. Of course, it's about Shawn Payton, right? What's Shawn's head at right now? Where is Shawn's head at, I should say, right now? Is Shawn Payton thinking to himself, hey, this is a game where I have to go and hang with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? I hope not. You know why? Because Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they scored 30 or more points 12 out of their 17 games this year. 12 out of their 17 games. The Broncos scored 36 times this year. That's a huge improvement from where the Broncos have come over the last few years, but it's not the double up of 12, which Buffalo did. By the way, they scored 40 or more 4 times, lost a couple of those games, but they can score the ball. So in Shawn Payton's mind, he's that offensive genius, right? He'll tell you all about it if you ask him. Is it a, you know what? We can hang with Buffalo. We can do what Josh Allen does. I don't think they can right now, and they certainly can't do it the way I believe Shawn wants to do it, by chucking it all over the field and completely ignoring the run game. You know why I feel like that? Because he's did that the 17 games throughout the regular season. So that makes me a little nervous. If they have a healthy, balanced attack, they certainly can shock the world. How do you do that, you ask? Well, just like I said, you need to run the dang football, and I believe this could be a week where you start to see Bo Nix really get involved back into the running game again. RPO Bo, if you will, right? He's had some success doing that. He had some success in the last couple of weeks. You really go back to, I don't even remember the week that it was, but that New Orleans game on Thursday Night Football, he rushed the ball for 75 yards that day, and it was a handful of designed runs from Shawn Payton that led to the success there. I would fully expect, if Shawn is going to commit and have some dedication to the run game, for that to be the case once again. Bo being heavily involved in running the football. So Shawn, I'm real nervous about how he approaches this, because they can't just go touchdown for touchdown with the Buffalo Bills. That's not going to work. But if you can control the clock, you obviously try to keep Josh off the football field. You know how you do that? You run the football, you get that defense a little bit tired, and then go up by a touchdown. Go up by a 10, maybe a touchdown and a field goal. You put so much pressure on the Buffalo Bills. You remember last year in the NBA playoffs when the Denver Nuggets were up by 20, and then they ultimately lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves? Well, if you were in Ball Arena that night like I was, you could feel it. You could cut the tension in the air with a knife. We were all puckering up. We were white-knuckling about what that game was going to look like. You can do that to Buffalo now. You can do that to Buffalo this Sunday, because you get yourself up in a lead and you start to put some pressure on Josh Allen. Maybe he turns the ball over, which he was great at not doing all year. The Bills as a team only gave the ball up 8 times this entire season. But if you can do that, you're going to put so much pressure on the Bills players themselves. Those 70,000 strong sitting in the stands there, freezing their dang butts off, covered in ketchup and mustard after they just jumped through a table on fire. They're going to start to pucker up. They'll start to get nervous. They'll start to put that on the team, and the team will start to feel that, just like the Denver Nuggets did against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So come out strong. Don't think that you can hang punch for punch with the Buffalo Bills. They're the heavyweight champion of the world, right? If this is a boxing analogy, you're going to get knocked out if you think you can stand there and go punch for punch with the Bills. You got to play your game, and that includes running the ball, Shawn. A healthy, balanced pass and rushing attack. And a lot of that is via Bo Nix in designed run plays. It's time for some RP Bo coming up again this week because he's gone away from that over the last, maybe it's been since that Saints game that they really had a dedication to Bo actually running the football. Number 2, which is also a very big one here, is Vance Joseph in the defense. Now, this is where I lean more towards because I just told you, I don't think the Broncos have the horses to hang with the ex-Cowboy that is Josh Allen. But the defense and Vance Joseph, there's a stat floating around, right? The Buffalo Bills this year, they only played 2 teams that were top 10 in the NFL in sacks. Those 2 teams were Baltimore and Houston. They lost both of those games. And it's not like Baltimore and Houston went for a tune of 7 sacks a game in that game, but it just puts Josh Allen in a different situation. We watched the New York Giants win 2 Super Bowls with what I'm about to tell you. You put pressure at the feet, you put bodies around the legs of the quarterback. That's going to lead to happy feet. He's going to get to jumping around a little bit. He's going to want to scramble sooner rather than later. Now it's Josh Allen, so I'm not sure how much of an advantage that is for the Broncos because Justin Strnad ain't chasing that dude down. Cody Barton ain't chasing that dude down. So that might be a slippery slope. But you put some pressure on him, and the Broncos, with 63 sacks, that's the most sacks that any team has had through an NFL season since the Eagles had 72 seasons ago. And you know when the Eagles season ended that year? February, after they lost. That part sucks. But they got to the Super Bowl and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. So you get with pressure from Vance Joseph to Josh Allen. You make him uncomfortable. You wait for him to make a mistake, and then you capitalize on that mistake via PS2 pick, a Riley Moss pick. Maybe it's a batted ball up in the air, and one of the inside linebackers or one of the big fellows up front happen to be there and come up with that football. You have to put pressure on Josh Allen. I trust a lot in Patrick Surtain, just like we all do. I trust a lot in Riley Moss. Is Riley going to return to reliable Riley, or does he still have some signs of rusty Riley coming off of the injury? I'm obviously hoping for the former so that he can hold his own. A lot of confidence in the secondary so that VJ can send Zach Allen, can send Benito. Those guys just get to pin their ears back and put pressure on Josh Allen. That is a huge key for the Broncos shock in the world. VJ's defense has to show up, and they have to show out. This team has had multiple games with 3 to 5 sacks. They do not win in Buffalo without 3 to 5 sacks on Josh Allen. You probably have to do that and force a turnover if you're going to get the win coming up on Sunday. All right, number 3, the formula for the upset. I mentioned it. You control the clock, you run the ball. It's Estime, it's Jaleel, and it's Bo Nix running the football. You have to do those things. You do those things, and you set up play action. You use play action in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and I can see it now. It is my man, Devon Vele, streaking in the blue and orange with number 17, middle of the field, or right up the hash marks on like that sail seam stuff where you just straight through it from the snap. And you get a step on what usually seems to be a nickel corner or an inside linebacker, which is a big mismatch for Devon Vele. So you use the run to set that up in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and then middle of the field or hash marks seam route. It will be there for a guy like Devon Vele. So that is how the Broncos can shock the world. Am I going to sit here and tell you that they're going to do it? No. But am I getting more confident every day that we get through? You bet I am. And I'd love to hear from you, Broncos country. How's this going to play out? And you know what? It's okay if you don't think they're going to win the game. They're playing with house money right now. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. This team has accelerated the timeline. They're not even supposed to be here until January of 2026. And here we are getting ready for a wild card game, January of 2025. So they're ahead of the schedule, but I would love to know from you, Broncos country, in the comments here, if you believe they have a chance. Is it just a puncher's chance? Do they have a legitimate chance to shock the world, beat the Buffalo Bills, and in turn, that'd probably get old Sean McDermott fired for yet another choke job in the NFL playoffs. So while you're here, like, subscribe. Don't forget to leave that comment. Call your shot. Tell me who wins this game. And then who knows? Maybe next time on Dover on Denver, it's you getting a shout out for your perfect prediction. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.